Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Homage to our teacher, most venerable Pinnath Lokusan Hanse. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, and so we know our teacher, Pinmat Lokusan Hanse, taught us this beautiful Dhamma, and he guided us to learn Buddha's teachings. We learned the qualities of the Buddha. So if you recall the qualities of the Buddha, so you can recall that the first quality of the Buddha, so Arahant, he eradicated lust, hatred and delusion. And he understood Four Noble Truths without any teacher. So he understood the Four Noble Truths. Therefore we call him Samma Sambuddha. And he is Vidyacharana Sampanna. He had so many psychic powers. He can walk on water, and also he can penetrate all the walls and mountains, and he can disappear one place and appear at another place, and he can travel in the sky, and he could appear 1,000 Buddhas and appeared as one, and as appears as 1,000. He could touch all the suns and moons, and he could recollect past lives of beings. And so he could see that all the beings, according to their good or bad karma, they will be born into good or bad destination. So he could read others' minds, and this kind of different, he could read others' spiritual faculties, how he developed all these faculties and which location, and how karma affect and which place, and how the way affect the karma, all kind of these things. Our teacher had this great psychic power. So now today we are going to learn that another very, very special power he had, our teacher had. So our Supreme Buddha. So one day he explained about the previous Buddhas, one of the disciple, about some of the disciple, that is like 31 eons ago, there was a Buddha in this world. What is his name? The Sikhi Buddha. He had a great disciple like Avasariputta Bhante, foremost from wisdom, Abhibhu. So Supreme Buddha taught all the Bhante and other monks about that some incident happened in the past 31 eons ago. So next day, Ananda Bhante asked the Buddha, so the same question, and that time actually Abhibhu Bhante went to one of the Brahma world, and he projected his voice into 1,000 world systems. And next day, Ananda Bhante came and asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, how far Supreme Buddha Supreme Buddhas could talk, right? Now today we are going to learn this beautiful sutta about the Buddha's ability, right? And also disciples' ability. What are the limitations of disciples' ability? what are the and Supreme Buddha's ability. So let me share with you that document. Okay, now this is the sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. Anguttara Nikaya, it is book 3, 8 sutta, which is called Abhibhu Sutta, and Pali it is called Ananda Sutta. So then Ananda Bhante went to see the Buddha and said to him, Bhante, in the presence of the Buddha, I heard this. In his presence, I learned this. Abhibhu, a disciple of Blessed One Sikhi, while staying in the Brahma world, conveyed his voice throughout the thousandfold world system. Then how far, Bhante, can the Blessed One, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened, who one convey his voice? How far the Supreme Buddha could talk? And that time Supreme Buddha said, he was a disciple, Ananda. The Tathagatas are immeasurable. So it says, not only Tathagatas are immeasurable. They are not measurable. They can compare only Tathagatas. All the Buddhas can be compared with the Buddhas and not any other regular people. So, and in order to understand this one really well, so better to understand the Sutta Buddha taught all the monks in the previous day about what happened in 31 eons ago. Okay. Now, this is Arunavati Sutta. It is in Sutta Nikaya, right? So the 14th Sutta. So that time, Ananda Bhante is reporting, thus have I heard. That occasion, Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi when he was in Savatthi. So he came to see the monks and he addressed all the bhikkhu monks, saying, bhikkhus. So everybody replied, Venerable Sir. The Blessed One said this. So Supreme Buddha is saying that bhikkhus, once in the past, there was a king named Arunava. Right? This is 31 years ago, Arunava, whose capital was named Arunavati. Arunavati, a capital, and the king was Arunava. The Blessed One, Sikhi, that time, Supreme Buddha was Sikhi Buddha. So this time period, actually, people live 70,000 years. The lifespan is 70,000 years. The Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one, depends on the capital Arunavati. So he was living in capital Arunavati. So he had a chief pair of disciples of the Blessed One Sikhi. Their name was Abhibhu and Sambhava, same like our Sariputta Bhante and Moggallana Bhante. So Sariputta Bhante is foremost from visitor after Buddha, and Moggallana Bhante was foremost from psychic power. So Abhibhu Bhante, he was foremost from wisdom, and Sambhava Bhante was foremost from psychic power, among other monks. And they are very good, excellent pair. Then the Blessed One, Sikhi Buddha, addressed the bhikkhu, Abhibhu. He said, come Brahmin. We know that Brahmin word is used for enlightened monks. Like, come Brahmin, let's go to a certain Brahma world until it's time for our meal. Right, so this is kind of morning time. So Sikhi, the Buddha called the Abhibhu Bhante. He replied, yes, Venerable Sir. The bhikkhu Abhibhu replied. So then what happened? They all disappeared. Then the bhikkhus, just as now Supreme Buddha is reporting, just as quickly as strong man might extend his drawn in arm or draw in his extended arm, so the Blessed One Sikhi, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one, and the bhikkhu, Abhibu, disappeared from the capital Arunavati. They just disappeared and reappeared in that Brahma world. Right? Then the Blessed One Sikhi addressed. So then Sikhi Buddha went to went to see them, and also after that, he addressed the Bhikkhu Abhibu. He said, so give a Dhamma talk, Brahmin. He said to Abhibu Bhante, to Brahma and to Brahma retinue and to Brahma assembly. So all of them were there. So Sikhi Buddha said, give a Dhamma talk. Then Abhibu Bhante said, yes, Venerable Sir. So then by means of the Dhamma talk, Abhibu Bhante, he instructed and exhorted, inspired and gladdened Brahma and Brahma retinue and Brahma assembly. So what happened? Brahma and Brahma's retinue and Brahma's assembly, they were not happy. They found fault with this. They start to talk each other against that and can complain about it, saying this, it is wonderful indeed, sir. It is amazing indeed, sir. Why? How can a disciple teach the Dhamma in the very presence of the teacher? So without Supreme Buddha is teaching us, why this disciple is teaching us, right? So then Buddha is our Buddha, Supreme Buddha is saying, then because the Blessed One Sikhi addressed the bhikkhu. So he talked to Abhibu Bhante. He said, Brahmin, Brahma and Brahma retinue and Brahma assembly, they are not happy, right? So they are saying, it is wonderful indeed, sir. It is amazing indeed, sir. How come this disciple teach the Dhamma in front of Supreme Buddha? So he said, well, then Brahmin, stir up an even greater sense of urgency in Brahma and in the Brahma retinue and Brahma assembly, right? Surprise them. So Abhibu Bhante said, yes, Venerable Sir. And then he told the Dhamma with his body visible. So he showed them the psychic power. So he taught the Dhamma with his body visible and with his body invisible. They could hear only the voice of the Bhante. And then after that, he did another psychic power with the lower half of his body visible. They could see only lower half of the body, upper part they couldn't see. Then upper half invisible, the upper half of his body visible and lower part invisible. So then after that, all the Brahmas and Brahma retinue and Brahma's assembly, they start to, they're surprised, and they start to talk about with the amazement. So it is wonderful, sir. It is amazing indeed, sir, how the ascetic has such great power and might, right? So the disciple of the Buddha had great psychic power. So then bhikkhus, that's our Supreme Buddha is explaining to all the monks. The bhikkhu Abhibu said to the Blessed One Sikhi, so Abhibu Bhante told the Sikhi Buddha, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one, Sikhi Buddha, I recall, Venerable Sir, that now Abhibu Bhante is saying to Sikhi Buddha, Venerable Sir, I recall, Venerable Sir, having made such a statement as this in the midst of Bhikkhu Sangha. So I made the statement among Bhikkhu Sangha, friends, while standing in the Brahma world, I can make my voice heard throughout the 1,000-fold world system. I can project my voice to 1,000-fold world system. Now that time, Sikhi Buddha said to Abhibu Bhante, now is the time for that Brahmin, now is the time for that Brahmin while standing in the Brahma world, you should make your voice heard throughout the thousandfold world system, right? So Abhibu Bhante said, yes, Venerable Sir. And then, while standing in the Brahma world, he recited these verses. Arouse your energy, strive on, exert yourself in the Buddha's teachings. Sweep away the army of death, as an elephant does a heart of reeds. So he chanted this one, and same like elephant, remove and destroy like bamboo, the house built from bamboo trees. Same like that, defeat Mara. One who dwells diligently in this Dhamma and discipline, having abandoned the wandering on in birth, will make an end to suffering. Right? So, and he chanted these two stanzas, right? So after surprising all these Brahmas, Brahma retinue and Brahma assembly, so they just disappeared from there and appeared in the city of Arunavati. So how quick they came? Just quickly, as a strong man might extend his drawn in arm or draw in his extended arm. So they came, they disappeared from there, from that Brahma world, and they reappeared the capital Arunavati. Then Sikhi Buddha went to see all the monks. He asked all the monks, bhikkhus, did you hear the verses that the bhikkhu Abhibu recited while he was standing in the Brahma world? They replied, yes, sir, we did. We did, Venerable Sir. What were the verses that you heard, bhikkhus? He asked the bhikkhu. We heard verses of the bhikkhus, bhikkhu Abhibhus, thus they heard that all the monks in the human world, in the earth, they could hear. Arouse your energy, strive on, will make an end to suffering. Right? This is that was the verses. The verses that we heard. They reply to Supreme Buddha. That was Supreme Buddha, Sikhi Buddha. Then he said, good bhikkhus, it was good, it is good that you heard the verses that Bhikkhu Abhikkhu recited while he was standing in the Brahma world. So, and that is what Supreme Buddha said. All the bhikkhus, they were happy about that, our Supreme Buddha's explanation, right? So what happened now? They heard that one day, next day, then Ananda Bhante, he went to see the Buddha, asked this one. What he asked? So, and how far, Bhante, can the Blessed One, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one, convey his voice? Right. So, then that time, Supreme Buddha replied, he was a disciple, Ananda. The Tathagatas are immeasurable. Right. So that is the limit all the disciples can go. Even though they develop their psychic powers, they can address only 4,000-fold world system. That's up to them. That is up to only, that's the limit of all the disciples. That the Tathagatas are immeasurable. The second time, Venerable Ananda so said to the Blessed One, Ananda Bhante asked the Supreme Buddha, so Bhante, in the presence of the Blessed One, I heard this. So how far Bhante can the Blessed One convey his voice? The second time when the Buddha's reply was, he was a disciple, and the Tathagatas are immeasurable. The third time, Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One. So even second time he said, So Bhante, in the presence of Blessed One, I heard this, right? How far Bhante can the Blessed One, Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one, convey his voice? Then he said, in that time, there's a phenomena that somebody asked 3 times the question, Supreme Buddha is answering that is specific for the Supreme Buddha. So maybe there's a possibility that normal beings, that a normal person that we ask 4 or 5 times, they will be silent. But when somebody asks that question, the Supreme Buddha is going to answer. Then Supreme Buddha is asking, have you heard, Ananda, about the 1000-fold minor world system? So that time Ananda Bhante said, it is the time for this blessed one. It is the time for this fortunate one. The blessed one should speak, should teach. Right? Then having heard this from the blessed one, bhikkhus will retain it in mind. Right? So, well, then Ananda listen and attend closely. I will speak. So then Supreme Buddha is going to speak. So then Ananda Bhante was very happy. Then he said, yes, Bhante. Venerable Ananda replied, the Blessed One said this. Because Ananda Bhante asked that day that question, that's why we have this sutta, right? So Ananda Bhante knew the time to ask the question, right? So, and Ananda Bhante is the one after Supreme Buddha had great memory capacity, okay? So then Supreme Buddha is explaining now, we know this world system, the world system we are living, how many bad worlds? There are 4 bad worlds and 1 human world. In this world, there are 1 Indian continent. Okay, there are 4 great oceans. What are those 4 great oceans? We have Indian Ocean region and Atlantic Ocean region, Pacific Ocean region, and Arctic Ocean region. Also that we have all these 6 heavenly worlds and 16 Brahma worlds and 4 formless worlds. And there's another mountain called Sineru mountain, right? So, and in this world system, we have 1 sun and 1 moon. Now, Buddha is explaining here 1,000. So Buddha is asking so 1,000 times the world in which the sun and moon revolve and light up the quarters with their brightness is called the 1,000-fold minor world system. In the 1,000-fold world system, there are 1,000 moons, right? 1,000 suns, 1,000 Sineru, king of mountains. This Sineru mountain, we cannot see with our naked eye. Yeah, it is in the northern part of the India, so we cannot see that. It is 47,000 yojanas high from above, from the earth to sky, and below the earth, rest of the part under the water, it is 47,000 yojana, right? So if you convert into 1 yojana is 10 kilometers, 470,000 right, kilometers. So now Buddha was explaining 1,000 suns, 1,000 moons, 1,000 Sineru, king of mountains, in these 1,000 world systems, right? So 1,000 Jambudvipas and 1,000 Aparagoyanas. Aparagoyanas means that based on that the Sineru mountain, the eastern side is Aparagoyana. Then 1,000 Uttarakurus. Uttarakurus means northern side of that one. This Uttarakurus is the one another human is living. Right? They don't have separate houses. They look after their children. Everyone, right? Consider they are their children. Uttara Kurus, and 1,000 Pubba Videha, the western side of that King Sine is the mountain Sineru, and 1,000. So the southern side is the India, okay, and 1,000 four great oceans. Okay, for a great ocean, 1,000 in each world system, four great oceans, 1,000 four great kings, right? So kings, 1,000 heaven of devas, right? Chatum Maharajika, how many thousand Chatum Maharajika? 1,000 Chatum Maharajika, 1,000 Tavatinsa, 1,000 Yama, 1,000 Tusita. Then everything is 1,000, 1,000 heaven of devas who delight in the creation. No, that 1,000 heavens of devas who control what is created by others, and 1,000 Brahma world. So by keeping this one here, let's go to another one, and this let me share this one. So this is that just to understand that the world systems, right? So, and even since recent that all these NASA couldn't even identify their parallel world systems, right? They were sending rockets to understand that all that whether there are other world systems. There's still some research going on. They are spending billions and billions of dollars to send rockets to find out there's in life. There's so many research going on in York University. There's in the basement. There are so many projects they do, but they don't know whether there's a life or not. And then recently they announced that there are parallel world systems, same like us. Now Buddha is explaining this 1,000 world system here, right? So just to give this kind of, you can see that lights in the sky. It is called that all these suns in the other world systems, okay? And you can see the 1,000-fold world system, right? It is something like this. So you can see that the sun is giving the light, and moon is there. All these, that the planets are there. So what will happen that you can see my cursor? Can you see my cursor? Right. So the light is ending here. So other light will start here, right? Okay, likewise. So if you make that three systems together, so in this way that there is a one light start here, this one should come down, and we cannot get the exact picture. So this system, this one world system, let's consider this one world system, this another world system, this another world system. The one world system that their sunlight is end, the other world system sunlight will start. But actually they are like this way. So all these uh, three lights are together. So this one and also that another one. There's a space here in between those three. Okay, that's a very dark place. So there's a hell in this area, which is called, what is that hell called? Have you ever heard that there's a hell, very dark, right? All the wrong views, the disciple of beings, those who are having that wrong view, they will be born into that hell, right? So only one few times they can see each other. So when the Bodhisattva was conceived into mother's womb, and then Bodhisattva was born, that in the world system that all these light will go there, and they can see that there are some beings were there, right? So, and this is that there's a hell that all the beings were there. Okay. So now we know that these days that some people they are having very distort teaching. They taught that not the Buddha's teachings. So what will happen as a bad karma? They will be born into that place. Okay. So Lokantarika Niraya. Have heard about Lokantarika hell? Right. So then when it finished, so when you touch, so just to give you some understanding, so let me show you something here. Okay, can you see this one like this? Okay, there's a space here in the middle, and don't think that it's three. That's all these world systems to above and below and all around, right? 1,000 world systems. Okay, let's come back to our. So this is the way 1,000-fold world system. Then 1,000 minor world system. How many moons? 1,000 moons, 1,000 suns, 1,000 Indian continents, 1,000 Mount Cinerus, king of mountains, 4,000 oceans, right? 1,000 bad worlds, right? So Asura world, ghost world, animal world, and hells. And 1,000 each and every heavenly world, and 1,000 Brahma worlds, right? As explained in the sutta. Now we'll go to the sutta again, right? So who control what is created by others and 1,000 Brahma world? They explain that 1,000 world systems. Okay, now you know that the 1,000 moons, 1,000 suns, and world systems. And again, Supreme Buddha has explained a world that is 1,000 times a 1,000-fold minor world system is called. There's another world system, the same like another 1,000, like 1,000 world system. It is called 1,000 to the second power middling world system, right? In order to give you that someone clear understand, let me share this one. Okay, 1,000 to the second power world systems. Little bit of math. You can see that 1,000 second power, there are 1 and 6 zeros, which is 1 million, right? In this world system, that 1,000 to the second power world systems, how many moons? 1 million moons, 1 million suns, 1 million Indian continents, 1 million Mount Cineru, king of mountains, 4 million great oceans, then 1 million bad worlds, right? So Asura, ghost, animal, and hell. 1 million each and every heavenly world, and 1 million Brahma world. Okay, this is called 1,000 to the second power world system. Okay, now if you go again to the sutta, with the explaining now, that is the 1,000 to the second power middling world systems. Is that the end? A world that is 1,000 times 1,000 to the second power middling world system is called the 1,000 to the third power great world system, right? So, and again, I'm sorry if I want to, if I go back and forth, right? Just to give you some idea. This is right, 1,000 to the third power great world system. Okay, this is 3,000. So 1,000 into 3 times 10 to the power 9 is the 1,000 to the third power great world system. 1 billion moons, 1 billion suns, 1 billion Indian continents, 1 billion Cineru, and 1 billion great oceans, 4 great oceans, right? and 1 billion bad worlds, and each other every heavenly worlds, and 1 billion Brahma worlds, right? So these are the worlds systems. But Buddha is explaining, Ananda, Tathagata can convey his voice as far as he wants. In the 1000 to the third power great world systems, if he wants, he can project his voice beyond that, right? So the world end is not there, right? So, and if I go, the world end is not there. So this is why we discuss about third world system, the 1000 to the, the third power great world systems. This is not the end, right? So in Sankara Prupati Sutta, Buddha explained really well. So there are some Brahmas, Brahma who in charges the 1000 Brahma world. Okay, so we can, same like we have a pebble, so that we can see, we turn in around and we can see, same like the Brahma who is in charge of 1000 Brahma world, he can see all the world systems. How he became that kind of powerful? He developed power of training, Seka Bala, Saddha, Sila, Sutta, Chaga, Prajna. Right? Saddha, faith, and Sila, virtues. Sila, Saddha, Sila, knowledge of Dhamma, generosity, and wisdom. That's how he became Brahma. And also there's a Brahma called 1000 to the second power world system. There's a Brahma who can see that 1000 to the third power world system. He'll see that all the three pebbles, we see each other very easily the same, like they can see this world systems, right? Okay, now is that end? No. 1000 to the fourth power great world system. This is this much of all these things. And fifth power world systems, you can see here. Then 1000 to the 10th power great world system. This is the amount that world system, this amount of suns and moons and all these Jambudvipas and all those things. And not only that, even the 1000 to the 100 power great world systems, like 1 and 300 zeros. And Sankarupati Sutta, Buddha explained this one, how there are each and every places, there are Brahma who can see that. The 10 power world system, he can see the same, like that red flow. There is a barely gem is that in that cloth. So same like he can see that world systems, 1000 to the 10th power great world systems. And even that Brahma who in charges 1000 to the 100 power great world system, he can see that same like that red color carpet. We put that very nicely created some jewelry over there, and same like we turn and see, same like he can see that all these 1000 to the 100 power great world systems, how they became that much powerful by developing power of training. Okay, so it is said that 1000 to the 10 power great world system, this is inside this world systems, right? This is the Buddha's region. Nobody, no any other Buddhas will be born. Because when one Buddha appeared in this one, no, in these 1000 world systems, that nobody will appear. You can see that the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, when Supreme Buddha finished that, and all the 1000 world systems, right? 1000 world systems, the power, all the system shattered, right up to here. And no any other Buddhas. Only Buddhas will appear in our world systems. That is why we called It's called that this is a worthy world system. Even that Buddha attained Parinibbana, all other world systems, they brought one hair of the Buddha, right? So one piece of teeth to worship, right? If you come to Asapo, you can worship. If you go to Stupa, you can worship the relics. If you come to shrine room, you can worship so many relics. But from some world systems, right? So they have only one relic, right? So all these world systems, all the devas came and took Buddha's relics. Okay. Now, so after that, Buddha explained that Andabante was surprised that, right? So when Buddha said, but he asked, in what way, Bante, can a Tathagata convey his voice as far as he wants in 1000 to the third power great world system? Then Supreme Dea explained, here Ananda, Tathagata suffuses with his radiance 1000 to the third power great world systems. What will happen? He sends some light. When those beings perceive that light, then Tathagata projects his voice and makes them hear its sound. Right? That is the way Ananda Tathagata can convey his voice as far as he wants in the 1000 to the third power great world system or beyond that. So then when sometimes some world system that sun is rising, some world system the sun is in the noon, some world system sun is sinking, but as soon as he spread the light, all the beings in this world system, they pay attention for what is going on, what is happening. Then he projected his voice. This is the way 2600 years ago, our teacher, Supreme Buddha, talked to all the other world systems. But NASA is still struggling to find out. Okay, so think about that. When this when this one was said, Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, "It is my good fortune. I am really very fortunate to have this kind of teacher, so powerful and so mighty." Right? When this was said, there was one monk. He was not happy with that. So everywhere that we can find this that someone who is not happy. When this was said, the Venerable Uddai said to the Venerable Ananda, so Ananda Bhante, what is it to you, friend Ananda, that your teacher is so powerful and mighty? So this is not your power. Why you are so excited about that? Right? That is not your power. It's your teacher's power. Why you are so excited? Right? So then Buddha said at that time, this is a very good point. We can see here, when this was said, the Blessed One said to Venerable Uddai, the Supreme Lord said to Uddai Bhante, do not say so, Uddai. Do not say so, Uddai. If Ananda were to die without being free from lust, without being enlightened, so then because of this small moment after listening that Buddha's power, he had the great confidence in the Buddha, that he had the great happiness in the Buddha, Then because of his confidence, he would exercise celestial kinship among the devas 7 times, right? If he had to die with the defilements, or he is not enlightened, so he will be born as a King Sakka 7 times. And also he will be the King Sakwiti. So he's the king for entire world. Great kingship in Jambudvipa 7 times. Right? But however, in this very life, Ananda will attain final Nibbana. Right? You can see that Ananda Bhante, at the very small moment after listening that Supreme Buddha was so powerful, so he, with this pleasant mind, he generated this karma, this powerful merit was this kind of powerful. The 7 times he can be, if he died, he can be 7 times King Sakta, or then and 7 times King Sakpiti, right? So then 1 time period, so we have 1 king for the world. So this is what Supreme Buddha explained, and this Ananda was happy. And by understanding this one, we can understand our teacher was so powerful, and he could talk to other world systems. He could touch other world systems, the suns and moons, and he could talk to other world systems as well, right? So by understanding this one, may all of us be fortunate to develop unshakable confidence in the Buddha and understand the Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This is the time to ask some question.
Bhante, I do have one question actually.
Yes.
Earlier in the sutta, you mentioned that the Buddha cannot be born in the other world systems, only just this world system?
No, when Buddha appeared in this world system, between that, it says one Lokadhatu. The one Lokadhatu is 10,000 world systems. In that other world system, no Buddhas could appear there, right? No Buddhas will appear. So all the Buddhas appeared in this our world system. All the other Vesabu, Sikhi, in this 10,000 world systems, right? That's all that is. This is worthy world systems in Sinhala it is called Magul Sakpala, right? So because that all the Buddhas appeared in this world system, right? Yeah.
So
Buddha
Bhante,
said that one, this one, only one Buddha appeared in the one that one Lokadhatu. This Lokadhatu is that 10,000 world systems. 10 and so 1 and 30 zeros.
so it only proves that the universe is infinite, right? So from the way, because it's multiplied
Yes.
to
There's no end.
its infinity.
Yeah.
My question is, because there are so many worlds, then is it so what is the counterpart of human beings in other worlds?
So Buddha said there's parallel world systems, right? And he talked to all these beings over there, right? So the other world systems, there are some beings. We don't know how safe are they are. So there's a possibility this is that, we cannot exceed the sutta. So, and Sutta explained that all the parallel systems, the Jambudvipa, right? So the 4 great oceans, and everything is, there's a symmetrical way that we can expect, and beings are there, human beings work, yeah. And all these other heavenly worlds, 4 great kings, 4 great kings.
So they also have their hell, their ghost
Yeah, all
world,
have.
animal world.
Yes. That's why that sometime there's time period come that this world system will destroy. That time all the beings in the world, hell, they will be born into other world systems hell. Even the world systems, that destroy, that there's no, escape. Other beings, they will be born into Abhasra world, right? Abhasra world. Abhasara Brahma, Abhasara world is called Abhasara. They will be Abhasara, so they will live that with that happiness.
And there's only one Buddha.
In this Lokadhatu, there's one Buddha will appear in the one time, because what will happen, even that King Milinda is asking the same question. So what will happen, why it is not two Buddhas appearing at the same time? Because their weight cannot withstand this earth system. They are so powerful. So cannot have this, and also disciples will be break into other two parts, right? And they are so powerful. They are great sealer, and you know that they are the psychic powers. So Earth cannot. Earth will break it. It won't happen. That's a phenomena for the Buddhas.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.